So, hey guys, welcome back with another video on Hacktify Diaries where you get to learn about cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and also a guidance, study guidance related to CEH exams or EGPT or any certification you are preparing for. Okay, so guys, in today's video, we are gonna see some basics networking protocols, or we are gonna say we are gonna learn what is the difference between the public IP and the private IP address, what is MAC address, what is UUIDs, what is the global unique identifier numbers. Okay, everything we are gonna learn in a very quick way. So the reason behind creating this video, guys, I have seen that many students who clear their CH exams and the EGPT exam, but they failed in their interview because they think in the interview when they will gonna sit, the interviewer will gonna ask about what is nmap, what is metasploit, what is burp suit, but they forget that in the interview whenever you are sitting for your first entry level jobs, always make sure you are in networking skills or basic networking should have a good skills. Okay, you have a good skills in the basic networking. You should know about what is the private IP address, what is public IP address, what is the use of IP address. Okay, why we use IP address. Okay, then what are the OSI layers. You should know about the OSI layer from 1 to 7, how they works, like application layer, session layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, everything. You should know about all this layer and how they work over the internet. You should know about that, but some people directly they do the certification and they forget to clear their basics. And when they sit in the interview and whenever the interviewer asks, tell me what is the public IP address and what is private IP address and what is the difference between the public and private, so they get stuck over there because they don't clear their basics. Okay, so in this video I'm gonna do a very quick go through with the some networking knowledge or like some basic networking knowledge which will gonna help you to understand behind all this process. Okay, so before moving ahead, guys, if you haven't subscribed my channel, please, it's a big request, don't forget to subscribe my channel because I do very hard work to make a videos for everyone. And if you think my videos are helpful for you, so just like the button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. If you have any doubt, just ping over the comment section. Okay, like you can drop your comments or you can drop your doubts on the comment section. I will try to respond as possible, as soon as possible. Okay, so now we'll start this topic. So guys, first of all, we'll understand what is private IP address and what are the ranges of the private IP address and why we use the private IP address. Okay, so first of all, guys, we'll understand what is private IP address. So just take an example. This is my machine, this is my network, and I'm already connected with the Wi-Fi devices where the SSID of the device, SSID means the Wi-Fi name. Okay, we'll talk about later about this in more and more detail when I will upload a video like how we can actually crack a Wi-Fi like WPA, WPA2, WPA3 and all that thing web. So in that video I'm gonna discuss about more and more about Wi-Fi, but today we are gonna learn about some networking knowledge. Okay, so just take an example. Okay, just take an example. This is my private, this is my IP, oh sorry, this is my machine, and if I'll just type the IP config and if I'll just scroll it down, so you can see here like the IPv4 address. Okay, this is my public IP address. What it is, this is my public IP address. So what is public IP address? So whatever the address, okay, whatever the devices are there in your home or in your office or your local networks, so whatever the devices which is connected over your local networks, okay, that comes under the private IP address. Now what is private IP address? A private IP address, a private IP address, guys, is an IP which is used inside your home, office or the private network, which is not visible to the outside world, which is not visible to the outside people like the internet. Now it is a house. Okay, you can, if I want to say in a more easy way, so basically it's like a house address inside a gated community, and only people inside can see it. Okay, now as I told you that there are ranges, so the private IP are ranges and they are specially and reserved. So the private IP address start from, basically it's not like that. If you'll see, whenever you will go into the company, you will see their IP address start from 10. Their machines are into the domain, their IP ranges start from the 10.0.0, like it can be anything to like 10.255 255 like this. Okay, so whenever you will see such IP like this, it then considered as a private IP address. Okay, so as I understand you, as you understand what is the private IP address, what is the ranges of the private IP address. Now why we use a private why we use the private IP address? Because they are safer. Okay, the first thing, they are safer, not directly reachable from the internet, and they save the limited numbers of the public IP address. Okay, they save the limited numbers of public IP address and they cannot be accessible over the internet directly. If I want to show you with an example, just take an example. This is my public IP address. Okay, here we go. And if I want to try to scan, okay, if I want to try to scan this IP address like this, and if I'll just click on the I agree, I'm not a robot, and scan. Okay, so can you see there is nothing, IP address are not valid, which means until unless I will not forward my local IP or my private IP address, it will not gonna scan. Nobody can scan, nobody can reach out to my public IP address. They can only access my public sorry, they can only access my yeah, public IP address, not the private IP address. Okay, so hope you understand what is the private IP address. So guys, the private IP address cannot directly communicate on the public internet. Why? Because the router on the internet dropped them to make a device. Okay, now as I told you, if you want that someone can access your private IP address, so for that you need to make your device first of all, like the reason, like because the routers on the internet drop them. Now to make a device with a private IP reachable, okay, if you want to your private IP should be reachable or usable over the internet, we need to forward it. Okay, we need to forward its traffic through a public IP. Now this is typically done using the port forwarding. Have you ever heard about the port forwarding? If you not, then we're gonna see how we actually do the port forwarding. We can do where there is a multiple way, like reverse proxying we can do, then using the port forwarding or the reverse proxying. Okay, that we're gonna learn in my different topics. So hope you understand what is private IP address, which start from 190 to 168. Its ranges start from 190 to 168, and also would like 10.0.1 dot, then it's end to 10.255, then also it's like 172 16.0.21. All this IP is your private IP address. Okay, now we'll understand what is the public IP address. Okay guys, you understand what is private IP address. Let's see what is the public IP address. So if I'll just come here and if I'll type the what is my IP. Okay, and now if I open this one, what is ipaddress.com, so here you will see my IP address, which is showing the ISP is Bharti Airtel, city is this, and this is the IP. Okay, now this is the IP address of my publicly IP. Okay, this is my public IP address. Now if I want to just come here and if I'll do like IP vconfig, and here we go, let's see will able to scan or not. Okay, fine, we can access, right? As you can see that the port 80 which is filtered and running on the HTTP server, which means you understand that the private IP address cannot be accessible. You cannot do any scanning part on, until unless you will not allow it. And the public IP address you can do the scanning, you can understand what are the ports and what are the services, what is the status and what is typed, like TCP, UDP, transport control protocol, or the user diagram protocol is running. Now like it is an IP address visible on the whole internet. You understand. The second thing, like your full house address, anyone can reach you. Like your like your full house address means like the one, like your private IP address no one can access, but the public IP address on the internet anyone can reach you. Now the public IP ranges, which is not okay, anything not inside the private IP address. The IP address which not comes under the private IP address are all comes under the public IP address. Example, like you can say 8.8.8, which is our DNS server, then also like which is our, as I said, Google DNS, then 1.1.1, which is our Cloudflare. Okay, so now the reason why the private IP and the public IP work differently. Okay, we need to understand why this public and private IP. This is my public IP, sorry, private IP address. Okay, this is my public private IP, and this is my public IP. Okay, now why they both work differently. So guys, private IP, which is work inside your network only, safe and hidden. Public IP talks to the internet, open and reachable. Routers are built, okay, basically routers are built to block the private IP address from directly going online. Why? Until unless we'll not gonna forward the IP of my local machine, it will not gonna accessible to anyone. Okay, so how we do port forwarding and how we can forward our local sorry, private port, we are gonna see with a good example or with a practical session in our next topic. Now we'll talk about what is global identifier, guys. Okay, so basically global identifier is nothing, is a unique ID that is known globally. Example, the public IP address is a global identifier like this. Okay, anyone can access over the internet this IP. Okay, in the internet anyone can access. If I want to just copy this and if I want to come here and if I'll just do the ping command, so here we go. As you can see, it will gonna give you response of 64 byte, which means it is accessible from anywhere. Okay, let me just close this. Okay, now what is UUID? UUID basically, guys, is a universally unique identifier, a special random, like if I want to show you. Okay, or let me just give it an example. Let me clear this. Okay, sorry, let me just it was stuck. So if I want to find out my UUID of my this device, so what I'll do, I'll simply type the WMIC, then CS product get UUID. Okay, and here we go. Now you can see this is my UUID. What is it? What it is? It is a universally or unique identifier. So what it do? It's used for the software, apps, devices. Okay, it basically used for the software, app, devices to uniquely identify stuff without conflicts. Okay, basically we use this UUID over the software applications to basically identify stuffs without conflicts. Okay, what does your UUID mean? So you understand. And second thing, it's just a 128 bit random number. Okay, this is a 128 bit random number. The structure of this is like 8 characters, like 4 4 4. You can see the 4 1 2 3 4, like 4 4 4. Okay, it's like this. It's a standard UI format. It not means, the reason is it's not meant to be readable by the human. It's just a random to ensure the uniqueness. Okay, this numbers is cannot read. Okay, we can only read this, but we cannot understand what basically the process running behind this. It's not readable, as I told you, it's not meant to be readable by the humans. It's just a random to ensure uniqueness. Okay, hope you understand what is UUIDs, what is the public IP address, what is the private IP address. Okay, now in the simple words, okay, if I want to just tell you in the simple words, your UUID is basically a unique ID for your computers and motherboard. Now who create this universally like what I can say, sorry, who create this universally unique identifier? It's created by your computer manufacturer, then BIOS owners, like then the system builder. Now if I want to say, or if someone will ask, can it be same on two machines? Can we copy the same UUID on the same machine? The answer will be should no. Cloning, ghosting can cause same, but we cannot assign the same, like a same UUID, like it's a MAC address, same MAC address we cannot assign to two motherboards. Okay, like cloning or the ghosting, such things like you can can do for a temporary purpose to show your client, to show your target or the victim, but it cannot be possible permanently. You cannot like actually use the same MAC address, all the UUIDs on the same motherboards. Okay, like on the two different motherboards. Fun fact, what is the fun fact, guys? If you want to say, if I want to say, like UUID is basically used by the Windows activations license. Okay, if you ever heard, like whenever you install your Windows, okay, whenever you try to install your Windows machine, it's ask a key, okay, to activate the, which is your Windows activation license, management, assets, tracking and inventory system. Okay, apart from that, it's also used into the virtual machines like VMware, Hyperware, which use UUIDs to identify the VM uniquely. Okay, apart from that, if you want to clone a VM without changing the UUIDs, okay, you can get wired network all the software problem. For example, if I want to just set up, or if I want to clone the UUID without changing the UUIDs, so at that time I will get the software problems. You have seen multiple times, if we get the error of the like the VirtualBox cannot be set up, VirtualBox cannot be open. At that time it give a specific error code and it not getting start. Okay, so it's happened because of this only. Okay, so in short, your UUID is your machine global fingerprint, if I want to say in very short. Okay, so hope you understand. Now who give you the public IP and who assign you the private IP? Okay, so guys, never misunderstand, like the public IP address is assigned by your internet service provider. Okay, the ISP, which is your ISP, like the what is the public IP address, it's assigned by your ISP. And what is the private IP, it's assigned by your router yourself. Okay, it's assigned by your router by itself only, and it sets it. Okay, whatever the IP address or private IP you see in your machine, it's set by your router. Okay, now the reason, as I told you, why we cannot use the private IP directly on the internet, because the internet routers are designed to block the private IP address. The reason why, the advantage of this is this protects on the internet from millions of devices classing. Okay, now the other way option, network address translation, NAT network. Okay, if I want to just come here and if I want to show you, just as I told you, if I want to access this my IP to like if I want to convert, okay, if I want to convert my public IP from like private IP to public IP, what I can do, I can just come here network, then from NAT to I can just go to the NAT network. Okay, if I'll just select the NAT network, then what I can do, this basically convert the private IP to public IP before reaching the internet. Okay, so this is the use of the NAT network. So hope you understand what is private IP address, what is public IP address, what is UUIDs, what are the global identifiers, who assign the UUIDs, like our motherboards, BIOS, then our system builders. Okay, I told you why are the private IP ranges the have the specific numbers like in 110.0.0.8 which is come under the class A, then 172.16.0 which comes under the class B, then 192 which comes under our class C. Okay, now why we divided into the class? Because this very easy. Okay, this is a very easy way, big blocks and not used publicly, easy for the routers also, firewalls also to recognize. Okay, to recognize thing very easily. Okay, now final, if I want to say, private IP which is used inside your network, free to use, cannot go to internet directly. Example of I already told you. Now the public IP used over the internet given by the your ISP and it's internet ready. Anyone can use, anyone can access. Okay. So hope you understand private IP is a hidden local address and the public IP is a visible global address. Okay, so that's it for today videos guys. Hope you understand the difference between the public IP and the private IP. Now if you want to get more and more idea about the public IP and the private IP, you can just go over the internet and you can do more search. Okay, that's it for today guys. We'll meet in the another video with some more practical session and with the great videos. Thank you guys. Have a great day.